Hey there, I'm Meredith Noble, co-founder of the Global Grant Writing Collective. You are about to listen to a snippet from a coaching call. So these happen twice a month. We're about to maybe make them happen 3 times a month, where you can bring anything you want to talk about and you will get a personalized coach review. So in what you're about to hear, we break down a federal grant narrative and give feedback to one of the grant writers that are in the collective. So this will give you a little bit of a sneak peek to see what it's like to be a member of the collective. Enjoy. So good. Okay, y'all are gonna love this one. We're about to get into some juicy stuff. Maria, I did see you were there. So you ready?
I am.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is my question. This has been already submitted, right?
No, it has not. It will be submitted either today or tomorrow is the last day.
Oh my gosh, it's on. Okay. I'm gonna give you more feedback than you can probably work with today or tomorrow. Your proposal is great. And
we've already, what I sent you has already been kind of worked, there's some changes. So we were a little bit afraid because the project narrative asks so much information, but then the points are concentrated in certain things. So I was kind of like,
yep, you're exactly right. So here's the situation that Maria found herself in. So what they ask for in the question is not clearly correlated to how they give points. So it's much easier when you work on a federal grant when they say, okay, you're going to answer a location, industry, and or market segment. These are the answers you get to get 10 points, 5 points, or 0 points, right? Like those are ideal federal grants. This one was like way more nebulous where it's all mixed in. It's harder. This is a messy grant to make sure you're not only answering the questions so they say they're asking for, but actually getting them on what they score you. So this is all talked about in the grant writing course. So for anybody who needs to go watch this stuff, go to the narrative writing section. But just to give you a quick and dirty, she uploaded the funding announcement. So what are we looking at? A 47-page document, right? And here is the narrative. So I just got myself down into some section. I was like, okay, I want to go look at the location, industry, and market segment. So I came in here, you would have this printed and already out. I went control find location to try to find this section of the narrative on what they were requiring. Click through until I find it, which was here. So project narrative, 20-page limit. And I copied this text because this is what they're asking for that specific segment. So I copied that, pasted it into here. Obviously, you probably already did this too. You just deleted it because you're now down to that point. But it's a learning moment for everyone else. And then I was like, okay, how are they evaluating it? So I searched location again. And what I found, let's do it. We're going to go through. So this is still telling us narrative. Okay, so here we are. So this is the evaluation criteria. So there's 100 points. The project goals and proposed solutions worth 40. So I looked for, okay, where does the word location exist? It's in this section, in this section. So in my response, I have to make sure that I'm covering these 2 points, access to networks pillar, and the access to capital pillar. So I need to make sure I'm using this language in my response in this little location section. Everyone tracking? You with me on this? Complicated. No, I see a confused face. Natalie, you good? Okay. All right. So how I make sense of this, because these are complicated to make sure you're catching everything. And that's where you yourself are stuck. Break up your text more with bold and italics, adding subheaders. You're not only doing this for you, you're doing this for your funder. So when I went through here, it was like, okay, indicate the specific geographic service area and region where project activities will be implemented. Okay, so then I come down here. This is the start of your text. And I say, geographic service area for project implementation. Boom, get into it. Right? So, and then I'm looking at some of this other stuff like strengthens the applicant's understanding of capital ecosystem and the geographic location. Like clearly this is something we need to show off. Here I put it. This isn't necessarily the right place for it, but I was like, our specific understanding of the capital ecosystem. So I'm making it very clear where it exists, or like they want the access to capital pillar. We got to make that strong. access to capital, and then my own sass, or rather lack thereof, right? So getting, and you use it, you say access to capital, this is your text, it's here. But we're not, if we don't pop it more, wear them out, because then they're trying to look all over for it. I need to show you exactly where the answer is to every little point you need. Do you get what I'm saying?
Correct, yeah.
So you're just breaking, you already have the content here. All you need to do is just make sure everything that you see here, everything that you see here has some subheading.
Okay.
Bold, or if it's something like connecting program participants with the Treasury's SSBCI, that's not necessarily a subheader per se. So let's say this was the sentence where you said that. You could just make that bold italic right in the mid content, and then it'll help pop it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think I thought about the like adding some kind of pointers, not thinking about the bold and italics, but because we had so much text, we were also, I'm like, if I keep like putting subheaders, am I going to keep like adding pages? And I have like a restriction, obviously.
So the easiest way to do it is you don't make it its own line. Correct. It's not like a technical subheader. Yeah. You abbreviate and you do it anyway. You cut text, because you are better off cutting out 5-10% of your text to make it easier for them to find the information, always. But I know it's hard. Trust me. Like, I have nursed it to where you're printing the stinking narrative and you're going through to delete extra words just to get it down. Here's the other major issue I've got to draw some attention to, and you have time to fix this, because you could do it quickly. Your sentences are too long. 32 words, 37 words, 30 whatever words, 38 words. We want to be at 20 words or less, preferably 15. When we make long lists, particularly with these commas, these lists, they lose meaning. They lose meaning. It's like it means nothing. So instead, if we were to rewrite this, we'd say, I wouldn't even say our project, just say like the business atelier groundwork is a business incubator and accelerator. We literally just say that. Yeah. It helps new entrepreneurs start their business and accelerate its growth. We support, like, we're not adding a ton. We support them in expansion, access to capital, and mentoring. So we just took a 32-word sentence and turned them into what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words, basically each. Simpler, easier. And like, this doesn't take long. Like, you can just run through all your long sentences.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing today, actually, because there was like 3 people working on it, like 2 like in the narrative and 1 like the CPA on the budget narrative that is still like being worked on. But yeah, and remember, our language is not like our native tongue is not English, which is also like a little bit of a thing. But yes, I've been looking into it because I found some of the sentences are too long. So I agree with you.
Yeah, we just want to make things really easy for them. And I do think that like, this is your most important thing. Like, they want to feel confidence in your ability to do this. So like for this, like here, for instance, however, is sort of a negator. So it's like, I'm negating what I just said before, which is your whole project. So instead, I want you to say, period, and then say something like this. This is what I said. In addition, our progressive online delivery method will make it possible for the entire island to receive curriculum and coaching or whatever. So just be wary of using words, but, however, etc. That kind of negates what you just said, because it's actually extra badass, but you're almost making it sound like it's not a good thing, right?
Okay.
So that's like, kind of as deep as I went, but I think in terms of how I would prioritize your next little bit is your next 24 hours is break up your content, go out in the bolds with your subheadings, and then I would extra spend time with this. make sure that capacity of building, access to capital, access to networks is really, really thick and visible. So like I had Googled access to capital here, see how I was like, where is this? Is this present? Is it really strong? And I was checking for it. And so I want you to make sure that you're, wherever you're putting that, like you're popping it a little bit, even if it's like, all I'm doing is even just making it bold.
Correct. Yeah.
Just pop it. Hey, here's the things you're looking for. We got it.
Yeah.
Okay. You feeling all right with that? Got a game plan? You're good?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. But
got this. This is beautiful. I mean, it's there. It's just a matter of tightening up the presentation of it, but the content is there and that's what matters.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Also, I'm super pissed that we didn't meet you in Puerto Rico. I can't believe I missed
I can't believe when I saw the picture, I'm like, well, I'm being a little bit absent. So I'm starting to be like more present here. So we'll probably be.
You're fine. I just always, whenever I travel, I always look you guys up to see where you are at. If you're where I am going, I can't believe I didn't do that. So kicking myself.
It is.
Okay. It is. So, and if you want more time in the future, Rose is an amazing writing coach specifically, and you can book time with her to have her do a very deep dive teardown. So just something to keep in mind in the future.